Well, good day. Commissioner Cribbins and I are thrilled to welcome you to the 2021 virtual Southern Oregon Coast Regional Housing Summit.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. We'd like to kick off by highlighting some of the housing success stories around our region. Enjoy.
When we moved to Gold Beach, we were one of many families who found themselves with very few options of housing opportunities. We lived in a fifth wheel camper and bounced around campgrounds for really the first 6 months that we were here while we found this property and began putting in infrastructure. Phase one of our vision was to put 8 homes on this 0.8 acres because there simply wasn't any place to live. And that's when we began to realize we need to do not just for us, but for the whole community when it comes down to our vision and our dream for our future. So that changed everything as a home builder, from building a mansion that had a nice view of the ocean to actually putting forth a vision to welcome new people and new families into a growing community.
Actually, several years ago when I was a city councilor, the city passed an accessory dwelling unit and tiny house ordinance. And we get really enamored by the tiny house concept because it's kind of a buzzword and fun and exciting. But the accessory dwelling unit portion is the more important part of fixing the housing problem because it adds a unit to an existing lot. So this one behind us is an example. My dad actually purchased this. It was a little 1950s single wide, but it was vintage. It was in great shape. It looked like a museum, and he rented it. It was very affordable, but unfortunately there was a fire and it destroyed the unit. So because of that, he found out he could build 2 houses where one once was. So now we've got a small house at 600 square feet and then a full-size house. And so we were able to put 2 units where once was just one really small unit. So it's a win-win for everybody. That's how the accessory dwelling unit can really help improve housing, because land is a problem here in the coast. There's very little of it that's developable, and so it's easier to do it this way.
Our staff village actually started in 2006. As the resort grew, we had the demand from our staff and caddies of we need a great place to stay. Our tiny home village is really taking off. We started this about 18 months ago, and we ordered these units. There's 30 of them. 25 are in place as of now, and by January they'll all be there. I think it's very important for all of us at the resort to have such an amenity to attract staff, to retain staff. They really, really enjoy it. It's affordable, it's a family, and it really makes a difference for our team here on the ground. We also think it's very important for the community. We strive and work with the local officials and other leaders in the community to see how we can be helpful. The Kaiser family, this is a big priority for them for both workforce housing, whether it be for the hospital or for the school or for the police department or all the other businesses in the area. We really want to be a part of that. So anything we can do to be a part of that is very important to us.
The challenges that we've had with housing, it's one of the same challenges that I think a lot of the coastal communities are experiencing right now. We have a low inventory of houses for sale, but the houses that are being purchased are short-term vacation rentals and second vacation homes, and so that's kind of taking up our rental industry. What I see is a lot of people that have lived here in the past coming back. There's people that are relocating with their families now, kids that have gone away and then they're coming back adults, and they're seeing the things that are happening and they really want to help.
So this is Coal Bank Village. It is a totally beautiful collaborative effort between the public, the City of Coos Bay, Oregon Coast Community Action, Advanced Health, the Devereaux Center, and many other organizations have come together to create a project that has small little shelters that provide a person stability while they work on resolving issues that are preventing them from being in some sort of permanent housing. If you want to start something like this in your community, you really have to start by laying a solid foundation of building relationships, not just with city leadership, not just with county leadership, but with business owners, with the people who are going to benefit indirectly from the work that you're doing.
So here at the City of Coos Bay, in an effort to identify strategies and projects, we focused on 3 areas. One is projects, the second is land use regulations, and the third is processing of applications. As far as deciding on what to do, we looked at the number of projects coming in, because we're at an all-time high as far as projects coming in. And so we looked at how could we streamline the process, what projects really needed to go to the Planning Commission, such as subdivisions or plan unit developments, and what are more common that really didn't need a full-blown Planning Commission. So we did an internal review, identified which were commonplace, and then really only needed a staff review along with noticing to meet Oregon's land use requirements. Well, I think probably the biggest tip is to look for partners. No one can solve this on their own. Looking for property that you have that might be an incentive to a developer is a good step. Urban renewal is also an excellent program. People need to look at their plans. Those plans can be updated through a process identified by the Oregon Revised Statutes, but it's a great tool. And then looking at process. Are there parts of our process that actually hinder development? There are things we can, hurdles that we can move out of the way. Another big project was the Tioga Hotel. The city has invested with a developer to update the facade, but also just provided a $200,000 grant to update some of the apartments. The unit has 56 apartments, and 10% of those were not utilized for the last decade. The developer's gone in, revitalized those units, and are now renting them out.
You know, one of our concerns with the Tioga is if somebody like us who appreciated the history of the building in context with the community didn't buy it, we were afraid that, you know, all that history and the amazing architecture would be lost. Like somebody from out of state, if they were to purchase it, they would see it just simply as a financial transaction and try and milk money out of it, as opposed to, you know, really uncovering the hidden, you know, gem that it really was. In tackling the Tioga, we knew that there were a number of issues with it. One, the functionality of the living spaces and the rooms inside they were dilapidated and run down, and nobody had really spent any significant time or money to really bring them up to, you know, current living standards. So we knew we had to do that first to get it in, to get these rooms in good livable shape. There were a number of rooms that were so bad that they hadn't been lived in for years. So we tackled those first and tackled a number of other rooms to get them into a space where they could actually be leased to help with the housing shortage in the area. But we also realized, you know, the incredible importance of the exterior, the facade, and you know, it's the facade of the Tioga. It's the tallest building on the Oregon coast. It's the first building you see when you drive into downtown Coos Bay. We realized that, you know, if we didn't fix that up and make it nice and attractive and inviting, that would ultimately hurt the rest of the downtown area. And we've been very fortunate that everyone from elected officials to city staff to the utilities to the county, the counties have been very supportive of what we're doing, and they've all been solutions focused, and we've been able to do some really nice things because of that.
We have a lot of reason for optimism. We're ready for the hard work, and it's going to take some more time, and we're up for that task and anxious to contribute.
You know what I'm excited about? From a governmental perspective, I feel like a lot of people look to the government to solve the problems, but I'm excited about the number of people that have stepped up, that have just identified the need. People from private enterprise, people from non-governmental organizations, from nonprofits, who have said, housing's a problem and I think I can help solve it. And that's why we have so many projects that we're talking about. From projects to help people that are currently unhoused, to projects to help us, attract and retain doctors, to projects to just give us that needed middle-income housing for teachers and nurses and, people that want to work for the county. And so that's what I'm really excited about, is just the number of people that have stepped forward and taken a leadership role.